the United Workers' Party UWP has secured a significant legal win in its ongoing case against the Government of Dominica, concerning the management of funds from the Citizenship by Investment CBI program. This March 20, 2025 ruling was essentially a victory for UWP in round 1 of this historic legal contest. See our earlier video entitled, United Workers' Party vs. Government of Dominica, Who Will Win, at the link in the video description below. Previously on February 25, 2025, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, political leader of the United Workers' Party, gave an update on what had transpired in the case to that point.
We filed suit, the United Workers' Party filed suit in the name of Bernie Ryan with the Government of Dominica to account for the CBI money. Basically, what we're asking the government to do is to tell the people how much passports have been sold and where our money is. We need to find out from our government some accountability with regard to the CBI, and also asking them to disclose the contract that is signed between the government and MMC, because it does appear as if MMC is in control of the CBI monies of Dominica, and we wanted to find out from the government, since that they're accountable to the people of Dominica, what contractual arrangement they entered into with MMC that now sees MMC controlling access in terms of funding for the airport and for the grammar school and so on. So all of that information we expect to come to light. So when we met in court last month for the very first time, lawyers for the government put in a motion indicating that the court had no jurisdiction. In other words, the court could not, under law, hear that case, and asking that it be thrown out. So when that happened, the last time we met, the judge gave our lawyers some time to appeal that decision, and the lawyers to respond, the lawyers of the government to respond. So our lawyers filed a written account before the court, and today, when we appeared in court today, it was to hear the oral argument to those written submissions. So in court this morning, the oral argument was made both by the lawyers for the government and our lawyers, and the judge agreed that she would rule on the matter on March 20th.
The March 20th High Court ruling allows the case, Bernie Ryan v. the Government of Dominica, to proceed, marking a pivotal step toward greater accountability and transparency in governance in Dominica and the Caribbean. The next hearing is scheduled for May 20, 2025. This development has revived public interest and debate about the use of CBI funds and the effectiveness of government programs. The court's decision to allow the UWP's case to move forward is being celebrated as a victory for transparency and accountability in Dominica. The case, spearheaded by Bernie Ryan, chairperson of the UWP branch in St. Joseph, challenges the government on critical issues, including the management of hundreds of millions of dollars generated through the CBI program and the effectiveness of its housing initiatives. UWP political leader Dr. Fontaine expressed his satisfaction with the ruling, stating that it represents a win not just for his party but for all Dominicans. Dr. Fontaine emphasized that this legal battle is about ensuring that public funds are accounted for and used effectively to benefit citizens. According to Fontaine, this case was lodged earlier this year to address accountability for the hundreds of millions generated through the CBI program. These funds have yet to be fully accounted for, and this ruling reinforces the importance of transparency in governance. He gave his reactions in a press statement on March 20, 2025.
Today in the High Court of Dominica, in the case Bernie Ryan versus the Government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as it relates to the CBI, its proceeds, as it relates to the contractual arrangements with MMC, as it relates to the proceeds of the CBI funds and where they are kept. There was a ruling in the court this morning. When the case was first filed a few months ago, after it was filed by our senior lawyer from Trinidad, Ramlogan, the Government of Dominica, through their lawyers, two senior lawyers from Antonio Stefan as well, from Trinidad, they moved that the High Court throw out the case on the grounds that the judge had no jurisdiction to hear the case, and also on the fact that the Bernie Ryan, who is the claimant in that case, had no standing. They argued that because he's just an ordinary citizen, and the fact that this could have been a frivolous case, that it should not be heard. Well, the judge ruled this morning that on both counts they were that she did in fact have jurisdiction under Article 102 of the Constitution of Dominica. She was able to hear the case as a competent judge in the jurisdiction. And secondly, that Bernie Ryan, due to the fact that he was not just an ordinary Dominican, he's a member of the United Workers' Party, the president of its association in St. Joseph, and that he had the concerns. Over the many years, he had heard the concerns of his constituents about the CBI program. As such, the case will go forward, and it will now be heard on May 20th, 2025, when the substantive arguments can be made. So we are hopeful that some of the issues that we're asking for will be aired in court, including the contractual arrangements that were made with MMC, and more importantly, where are the proceeds of the CBI program. A big thank you to all of you, Dominica, for your contributions. We've had several fundraisers, radio funds to raise funds to the pay of the lawyers. It was a very good first start today, and we're very happy to know that we got this ruling this morning in the High Court. Thank you.
The UWP's legal journey began with the engagement of Trinidadian attorney Amand Ramlogan to file the case. The government initially sought to dismiss it, arguing that the court lacked jurisdiction and that Bernie Ryan had no standing to bring forward such a claim. However, the judge ruled decisively in favor of Ryan, affirming his right as a concerned citizen to pursue this matter. Dr. Fontaine also raised questions about the government's claims regarding housing projects funded by CBI revenues. He argued that while some homes have been built, there is insufficient evidence to suggest that these efforts adequately meet Dominica's housing needs. If homes have been built, Fontaine remarked, we must ask why more wasn't done with such significant resources. Could thousands have been built instead of just a few hundred? These are questions that demand answers. This legal effort has been supported by Dominicans through community fundraising initiatives, which enabled the UWP to secure expert legal representation. In expressing gratitude for this support, Dr. Fontaine stated that this demonstrates the commitment of citizens to hold their leaders accountable. As both sides prepare for the next hearing on May 20, 2025, this case promises to be a critical juncture in Dominica's political landscape. The outcome could set an important precedent for how governments manage public funds and respond to calls for transparency. The High Court's ruling marks an important step toward greater accountability and transparency in Dominica's governance. As this case unfolds, it may finally shed light on some pertinent issues surrounding the CBI program and evaluate its impact on national development. The United Workers' Party remains resolute in its commitment to ensuring that public funds are used responsibly and that citizens' interests are prioritized. This story highlights not only a legal victory but also a broader call for good governance. This is a principle which resonates deeply with all Dominicans striving for fairness and accountability in our nation's leadership. What do you think now that this landmark case has surmounted the first significant legal hurdle? Who do you think will win in the end? Let us know in the comments below. And remember to like and share this video, and look out for more information on this and other topics. Also, look out for our upcoming video on the latest updates from the European Union regarding the CBI program. See you in the next video.